give all praises to Yahweh Shemai Shai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and Shalom to all brothers in this country and all over the world doing this work in sincerity and truth in the spirit of Yahweh Shemai Shai. This show is going to be put on GMS Living Waters, and usually Elder Tizama will be here, but he couldn't make it today. So we're going to continue in the spirit we were in last show, and continue from that subject, which was where we're going over Job, the 20th chapter, which deals with Esau, the so-called white man, the devil, which goes into his last days, which is right now. Okay, so we'll just go right into it.
Right. So I'll read Job 20:5 again. It says, this is Job 20:5. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Yeah, and the wicked, as we know, it is the so-called white man. All right, because you can look at his track record and what he's done to the planet Earth, what he's done to this society, what he's feeding you people. But first and foremost, what he's done to the name of Yahweh Shemai Shai, hiding from the people, hiding from his true people, and putting his face up as an image of God. Also, oppressing God's chosen people. That's what makes the so-called white man the devil. All right, and they're triumphing now because they're the ones who control. They're the ones who control this whole world, starting with your elites. All right, so that's triumphing, and the scriptures say the triumphing of the wicked shall be short. All right, they're not going to be on this pedestal that you see them on right now. Where every show on TV, it's images of them. The face of their dollar, the monetary system is them. They have control over the whole world is them. So those days are short.
Right. Right. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens.
Well, from poverty.
Right. It says, verse 5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Yeah, and the hypocrite is the so-called white man. Hypocrite, if you go into the word, means actor. All right, and he acts like the society's, some society that or his government is true, and that it really means something to better his people or the people that he governs. But this is really a demonic system backed by the devil. All right, the spiritual demon Satan, and all their ways and everything that they do as far as corporations like the CFR, like the Trilateral Commission, America, which is not a country, it's a corporation, Homeland Security, all these Ivy League schools, which is Harvard, Yale, all right, and so on and so forth. The core system is all backed by Satan, by Masonry, all right, by these secret societies, Skulls and Bones, all right. So he's an actor. He acts like he is true, or he means well, but it's really for your downfall. You're detrimental to your society and the people in it. All right.
Right. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach onto the clouds.
Yeah, meaning that he's reached high levels in what he's doing. And he's reached high levels of what he's doing, and it's excellently reaching into the clouds. But that's going to be a short moment also. You have something to say too.
Yeah. Also, his technology that could go into his technology too, because the so-called white man they have the satellites are up there in space. They have the space station which they hope and pray to escape to once judgment comes. And his excellency that can go into his witchcraft and his sorcery too, because through his witchcraft and sorcery, that's why they refer to Esau that's why they refer to America as the Chaldeans as well, or the people of Esau as the Chaldeans as well, because they have put a whole lot of sorcery over everybody in America, man, to trick them into thinking that it is what it's not. Like America is a land of the free, and the so-called white man actually cares about you. Right. So I read again. It says, Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which seen him shall say, Where is he?
Yeah, so that's pretty plain. Though his excellency mounted to the heavens and reach into the clouds, like the brother was just breaking down with your satellite and your technology and your the power on the left hand side that you've been putting on the people. All right, it says you should perish forever like his own dung, which means just like we always say, like you go to the toilet to go to the bathroom and you flush it away. That's your moment, man. You had your moment floating in the tub, so-called white man, you devil. So starting with your elites, now it's time to flush your ass, and that's what the Most High is getting ready to do. He's getting ready to flush you down, man, by nuclear missiles, all right? And he's starting to flush you down by the prophets, man. By the prophets going out there making videos, starting with the apostles, all right? We're starting all the way back from Mama Bibbins now down to the apostles and all the brothers bringing out this truth, casting down your lies, all right? You've already been flushed down, man, all right? And also your society crumbling and going down, and it's been happening, and it's getting worse and worse, all right? So the so-called white man's his time is over. It's happening right now.
I got a precept. This is Jeremiah 49:13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall be a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. And that's going into America, man, because in the scriptures, Basra, it represents America. If you read up the verse above it, it goes into the Most High judging Esau. All right? And Basra, it says, is going to be a desolation. When something's a desolation, there's nothing left after it. And what's going to make America a desolation? Those thermonuclear missiles. That the Most High has ready and set and prepared for Esau's downfall. Right? I'm going to go back to Job. It says, verse 8, it says, He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall. It says, yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which see him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold of him.
Yeah, break it down because I want to look for a precept.
All right.
For that. What verse was that one?
That was verse 9. I'll read it again.
Okay, yeah, I got a precept.
8 and 9. I'll read 9 again. It says. Well, I'll start at 8. It says, He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. And verse 9 it says, The eye also which see him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold of him. Right? Because in the kingdom you're gonna go through after America gets destroyed, the elites, okay, the elites, they're going to be rounded up, just like it tells you in Psalms 149. You're going to be rounded up, chained up, and prepared for slavery. All right? And you're going to serve a hardcore slavery for 1,000 years, pursuing the Revelation. I believe it's the 20th chapter, right? When it goes into how Esau, you're going to be in slavery for 1,000 years. All right? And then after that 1,000 years is up, you're going to be burned up, man. And that's when the real Holocaust is going to take place. And what this scripture, what this verse here is saying is, after a while, it's going to be like, it's. I'll read that verse again. It says, "The eye also would see him shall see him no more," because there's going to be a point in time where we will not see any more Edomite, man. The nation of Edom is going to be destroyed and done away with. Okay, and it reads on. It says, "Neither shall his place any more behold him." Right, because the place that you have now is that top nation. All right, in Jeremiah it refers to your position right now, or your kingdom, as a golden cup of the Lord, because the Lord put you on that top seat right now. But according to prophecy, the Most High is getting ready, and you can see, based on prophecy that's happening now, the Most High is getting ready to take you out of that power seat and put in His people under Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, and that's evident. That's the downfall of Esau, the so-called white man, is imminent, and it's evident by all the prophecies that's happening.
Hey, you know, I had a precept for that, which I think it was in Isaiah. He should narrowly look upon thee. Is he the one that shook the kingdoms?
That's 14. That's 14. Let me see if I can get it. You just speak, man.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, so basically, you know, like we're going through with Job, you know, there's going to be a time where Esau's not going to be seen anymore. Okay, just like the brother just reading that in that verse. You know, it says, I'll read it verse 8 again. It says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. All right, because, you know, we're getting a precept right now, but it's going to come a time when we reflect on in the past, in this time where, you know, we're going to not even believe that Esau ruled. It's going to be, you know, we're going to tell our kids in the kingdom that this devil ruled, and, you know, it's going to be a joke.
Yeah.
But it really is going to be a reality, because it's going to be so out of the box in the kingdom of heaven that these rats were ruling at one time and with great power. And the scriptures say they're going to be chased away, all right? And that's happening now. You can be chased away from your power rulership, all right? And chased into some chains, okay, serving the Israelites in the new world to come. Yeah, so continuing on about Esau's downfall, all right? So this is a precept that we're going to read right now to Job, going into Isaiah, which goes pretty much hand in hand, all right? So we'll let the scriptures talk.
All right, this is Job 20, verse 8. It says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night.
One more verse, yeah.
The eye also would see him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him.
Yeah, so this place is America, Babylon, the mother of harlots. It's not going to behold him. Why? Because it's going to be destroyed, and the so-called white man is going to be chased from his rulership right into slavery. Okay?
You want Isaiah now?
Yeah, verse 3 and down.
Right. This is Isaiah 14, verse 3. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
Yeah, so basically when you start from the first verse, it's going into how the Most High is going to restore all Israel, even with all the other Gentiles. All right? Now we just want to get to the points. It's a little lengthy, down to verse 3, down to 16, showing that it says that the Lord is going to take away our sorrow, take away our fear, and our hard bondage. Because the so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos had no doubt, without a shadow of doubt, have served bondage in America, and the Lord's going to take that away. That's how you know it's talking about us, the Israelites, the Latinos, and the Native Americans, and so-called blacks. Just off of that right there. So we're not going to fear no more. He's going to take away our bondage. And who have those people been in bondage under? It's the so-called white man, the devil, Esau. You know?
It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased?
Yeah, so one day, which is now, we're going to say, how has this oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased, which they call the golden America, Babylon, all right? But which they call the golden city America, because it's saying right there it's going to cease. So that's how you know America is coming to an end very soon. You know?
It said, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
And I'm sorry, now the verse before it said oppressor, because there's no shadow without a doubt, once again, that the so-called white man has been, all he does is oppress since he's been in rulership, especially the Israelites, Jake. All he does is oppress them. Okay? And in verse 5 again?
It says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
Basically their power, all right, which the Lord's going to take away Esau's power. Keep going.
He smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth.
Yeah, so when the so-called white man's in power, he just not only did he destroy damn near destroy the Israelites, but he also oppressed other nations too. I mean, mostly the Israelites, but he has put this whole world under his grip, under his system, where he has destroyed, basically persecuted all nations, man. You know, but mainly Israel. Okay.
Right. It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Yeah, and the earth will break forth into singing, and it'll be quiet and be rejoicing. Because what the so-called white man is doing to the earth, he's destroying it. He's destroying every part of the earth, man. The ecosystem, the people, the minds of the people, the food, the water, you know, everything the so-called man touches, he's ruining. His drilling for oil, you can go on for days, man. Some of the stuff the byproducts of the stuff that he makes, as far as plastics and stuff like that, those things don't decay after hundreds of years. And when you throw those things in garbage, they create landfills. That's a whole other subject. Destroying the earth by basically in those manners, you know. So when this devil gets out of rulership, the earth is going to rejoice.
It says, verse 8, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us.
Yes, because when the so-called white man goes down, that's it. No other nation is going to go up against Israel no more. It's going to be Israel in power, and Israel is going to be ruling. All right, because Esau is the sign and the symbol of the Israelites coming into power. Just the fact that Esau's ruling shows that the prophet, the scriptures are true. Because right after his downfall, the scriptures say that that Jacob's going to come into power. Second Ezra chapter, Second Ezra. Okay.
It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Well, what verse is that?
9.
Okay.
Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth.
Yeah, so all it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, which hell, which means death and destruction, is coming to you, so-called white people, man. And that's what's coming to you: death, destruction, and slavery. All right, and we're at the door of that. All right, because you can tell what's going on all over the world, that your end is near, with all these governments, the sedition amongst all these governments, the race riots happening right now, the downfall of your morals. We know that your hell is coming soon. And it says, stirreth up the dead, which are the other nations. It said, even all the chief ones of the earth. Those are talking about the other nations, the dead. Because other than nations, they want to blow you out of sight, man. I was getting confused. Is North Korea?
No.
North Korea constantly making threats. You know what I mean? Russia constantly making threats.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
North Korea just testing.
Oh yeah. Just testing on missiles, man. They doing that every week, man. So those are stirreth up the dead. Okay? Because they're going to give you a lot of help, and they're going to destroy you too. They're going to have a part of your destruction. All the other nations are going to get a piece of your destruction. You know, only one nation is going to rise out of that, though, which is the Israelites, from the power of Yahweh Shemai Shai. Okay, and you can't deny that. All right, that that there's an uproar amongst this earth, and all nations are want to get America out of the picture.
It says, it hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
Yeah, that's simple. Let's talk about World War III. All the kings of the nations. All these other nations, all right? Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, all right? China, Russia. We go on for days, man. That they're rising up to fight a war, you know? And it all links back to Babylon, America.
It says, verse 10, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak? I'm sorry. It says, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
Yeah, that's right. Because that day is coming very shortly. Because no other nation on this earth is really scared of the so-called white man anymore. All right? talk about America and it's who they're linked to back in England or in Europe, the elites, international banking families. All right, other nations are going to look down on you in your last hours, and they're going to say, have they become as weak as we? And they're going to, you're going to come to find out these other nations going to, they're not scared of you, basically.
Yeah, they all these other, they have what? They all had what in common?
Mm-hmm.
They all have nuclear capability now. All right, and that's what this chapter is going into. It's talking about how the Most High is raising up the chief ones, right, of the nations. By how he's allowing them to
talk shit.
Yeah, talk shit.
Yeah.
Why? Because they all have that nuclear capability now.
Yep.
All right. So it says, verse 10.
Okay.
And it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become as weak as we?
Speak.
Yeah. It says, art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
Yeah, and that pomp is one of my favorite words, which means proud. All right. So I mean, once again, without a doubt, it's talking about the so-called white man. That pomp is brought down to the grave because the so-called white man is the proudest devil on the planet Earth in the history of this planet of this earth, man. All right. First of all, to put your image as the Most High and His Son is never been seen before by any other nation. Only the so-called white man had the gall to do that. So that takes pride, a lot of pride. Pomp, let the scriptures say. So that pomp, which is America, and being proud about being homosexuals, giving homosexual rights, being proud about going into other countries and telling them what to do. All right, that's pomp. That's pomp to wipe away the history books and put in your own manifest destiny, your own history, and try to rewrite the history books and try to change that. That's being proud.
Covering the faces of the judges, that's pride, man. No other nation, when they were in rulership, they never did that, man. They never put their image up as the Most High and the Son and the prophets in the scriptures, man. Their spirit knew not to cross that boundary, but they don't have pride like the so-called white man. They don't have that pomp like Esau does. Right? It says, I'll read it again. It says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy bowels, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Yeah, that's clearly talking about the so-called white man. Now, Lucifer really goes back to light bearer, which you can prove the scriptures also is Yahweh Shai. All right, but in this scriptures really talk about the so-called white man because he acts like he is a light bearer, or he's the one who has the light, right? The light, which you see in the Statue of Liberty with the torch, and he's always representing he has the light and the knowledge, and America is the best, and their way is the only way. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, or light bearer, so to speak, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations? And it's talking about the so-called white man because not only did they have the power, the rulership, and that light, right, to rule this world, but they're the ones that were weakening other nations. That's how you definitely know it's talking about them. All right, they're in. I'll forget the count. 190 countries, and they're like in each country. I think 150, 180 countries all over the world. I mean, you can double check yourself, but they had military bases, America, in all countries all over the world.
Like 170 something out of 190 something, which is a lot, which is almost all of them. Right?
Yeah, and when you set up your military in other countries, that means you basically control them, you own them, which means he has weakened all the other nations, and he made nations poor. Haiti in 1730 used to be the richest continent on planet Earth, and most gold. Now look at them. They're one of the poorest countries on the face of the planet, man. You got Puerto Rico, which is really called the Port of Riches, which was a rich land. Now they're struggling over there.
They did the same with Argentina, and you notice they're all what? They're all nations of Israel. They're all Israelite countries they're doing it to.
Yeah.
So it
So
says
he weakened the nations.
yeah, and also they weaken the nations militarily. Well, I think you already mentioned that they weaken the other nations militarily also. All right, with what? With Fat Boy and Little Boy. That's one way they scared all nations with their atomic bomb.
Yep.
All right, and then after that, all nations were scared of them, man. They put fear in all nations. That was like the height of your power, you know. It says, verse 13, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High."
Read that again. What verse is it?
13.
Okay.
It says, For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
Yeah, and that's who they're talking about. Again, that's how you know it's talking about that so-called white man. Because what other nation? It says, "For thou hast said in thine heart," which is which is their mind, "I will ascend to heaven," which you have, right? First of all, putting yourself as the image of God, right, and His Son, making believe when you die, you go into heaven, you see the so-called white man as your power. But not only that, you ascended to heaven with your satellites, your spaceships, and so-called going into outer space. All right, meaning that you've gone, you know, that's what you think. You think you've done this on your own power, on your own merit, all right? And you think you're doing it on your own will. All right, it says, "I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High." All right, meaning that you can deface the Most High and put your face up there as to make it feel like it is you, and then nothing's gonna happen to you. You think you can do anything you want, basically. And you go rise to the top without ever falling. All right? Which you don't know the Most High's control. All right? Which proves that you people are devils, man. The so-called white people, you people are pure devils. And once again, that's pride. All right? Mm-hmm.
It says, 13 again, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit."
Yeah, so basically it says, "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds." Once again, talking about His power. You know, this man, I think that song, "I Got the Whole World in My Hands," it really goes back to the elites. They have done that. They have ruled the whole world. I mean, have an uncountable amount of money and power. They have convinced the whole world that if you believe in religion, if you believe in God, that it's them. So even after death, people think there's a white God or a white Jesus or whatever. You know, they have put their satellites. They have looked far into the galaxy. You know, they feel like they surpassed the Most High. You know. And as far as they're trying to figure out what's in the universe and things like that, stars, galaxies, and trying to break down quantum physics and all that, and with all their stupid astronomy stuff that I used to be into, you know, they think they figured it all out. Like the theory of everything out there. There's other stuff I forget I used to look at, but I was way back when, and it doesn't really make sense. But basically, they think they've reached a level past the Most High. All right.
Right. It says, verse 15, it says, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit."
Yeah, you're going to be brought down to hell. Hell, which means grave. You're going to be brought down to the sides of the pit.
It doesn't mean some fiery place
Yeah.
with some fat guy, you know, with a pitchfork is waiting for you. You know, that just means, that just means heaven and hell just means a condition, right? And that condition of hell is what? It's going to be your slavery, man. And you're starting that descent right now, all right? Because what our other nations are starting their ascension in power as far as their might.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, you're gonna be the lowest nation in the kingdom of heaven, man. Mm-hmm. You know, you're gonna be the lowest. You're the lowest anyway. Scripture, like it says in Daniel 4:19 or 4 something like that. Basis of men.
Yeah.
You're the lowest spirit, but yeah, the brother's right in spirit. You know, the other nation's going to be on top of you in the kingdom of heaven. I mean, they're going to be in the slavery too, but you're going to be the lowest form in the kingdom of heaven, man, when the Lord's here.
Right. Here's the point. Verse 16. It says, "They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?"
Yeah, so that's a question. When it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. You know, when that time comes, when you're on the bottom, all right, you know, you're gonna look. The nation's gonna look at you with a narrow eye, meaning like, you know, like something like, what, this? They ruled? You know? Nah. You know what I mean? They're gonna look at you like that. Okay? So that's what it means when it says they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake the kingdoms? Because it's not going to be believable. All right? It's not going to be believable that you've actually got to this power. And that's another proof that there's a Most High, all right? That there's a God. Because you so-called white people are in power. That's how you know there's a God. Because your nation is so weak and base that it would take the Most High if he even put you on top. But this planet's so gone, they think that this is the norm. All right? But the Lord's going to bring you back to remembrance, to reality, to show you how pathetic the so-called white man is to you fucking Edomites. All right? Because that's why I remember reading some of my Bible dictionary about Ezekiel, and Ezekiel was prophesying to Israel about Babylon coming in to destroy, to take down Israel and their kingdom, and he didn't believe it because Israel was such a power. It's like, imagine the so-called white man right now brought down. Ezekiel went through the same thing. Like, nah, we're not going to be brought down. I don't care. I can't really believe this. You basically have a nervous breakdown. But I bring that up because the Most High is going to do the same thing to Esau, these so-called white people. All right? He's done it to us, which at that time wasn't believable that we were ever going to fall down. That's how mighty Israel was, you know? But he's going to do the same thing to you so-called white people, all right, and bring you down.
That was that.
That was that? Okay. One more verse you could do.
All right. This is verse
Some,
7.
well, you know what? Nah, you don't have it.
Yeah.
Back to Job, go ahead. I'll read it. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is Job, chapter 20, verse 9. It says, well, I'll read it from 8. It says, he shall fly away, from verse 7. Yet shall he perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, Where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him.
And that's what we're going into. That was a precept in Isaiah, how all the other nations, they're looking down at Esau, man. And why? Because the Most High is raising them up. He's raising their strength up, which no other nation is fearing them right now. And it's going to come to a point where they're going to blow Esau in America out of the map, right? And in the kingdom, they're going to, after 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, we're going to look at you, all right, in the position of power that we're in, through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We're going to remember you and be like, damn, this was the guy that was in power, you know? I can't believe, it's gonna be like a dream, you know?
Looking all skinny and frail.
Yeah,
you know?
And then just by thinking of it, you're gonna just hang 10 Edomites right then and there, man.
10 times,
100,
you know? I think that was the last one right there.
All right.
One more.
All right, well, you want to close it up?
No, you close it. I mean, that was kind of perfect to end it right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you know what? The prophecies are rolling, man. You know, and let me end it with this one. You know, let me end it with this. You can speak.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Look at Job, man. Job 18 too. That goes into, which is one of my favorite scriptures. Job 18 is like the same as Job 20. You know, and Lord willing, we're going to finish this subject next week. All right, and this just goes into the downfall of the so-called white man. And that's what's happening, man. There's too many signs out there, too many. All right, but only the elect, all right, the men of the Lord,
they're going to be the only ones to wake up and to realize this, man. As far as the other goons and you dummies out there, all right, like James White, which I haven't really seen anything about, you dumbass, but I've seen the apostles break you down. And what's the other dude called? Vocab? Vocab, Elder Zakaran making videos on you, and, edifying through the Spirit and breaking you down, all right, which is really the Spirit of the Lord. All these other phony camps, man, pretty soon it's going to be seen who the real men of the Lord is. And once again, that's what we're fighting for here. That's why we're making this video, to wake up the elect. That's what apostles do, what they do. You know what I mean? And that's how you know a mark of a true man of the Lord is to come out here and break down these scriptures and talk against America, talk against the so-called white man. And it's evident that his downfall is at hand. All right? And the reality is going to strike Esau very soon, and your other nations, and the 2/3. All right?
All right, I got something. All right, here's what you ended on. This is Isaiah 62, verse 11. It says, "Behold, the Lord hath proclaimed unto the end of the world. Say ye to the daughter of Zion, Behold, thy salvation cometh."
Yeah, proclaimed. All right? When you proclaim something, it's being declared out in public. All right? So when you proclaim, that's the prophets, man. All right? So read that again.
It says, "Behold, the Lord hath proclaimed unto the end of the world."
Yeah, yes. Right? Because you have all these camps opening all over the world. All right? I mean, you can't deny that, can you? No, you can't, because you got many camps saying in the name of Yahweh Shemashai, and furthermore, GMS camps open all over the world, proclaiming what?
Proclaimed unto the end of the world.
Yeah, the end of the world.
Say ye to the daughter of Zion, Behold, thy salvation cometh.
Yeah, the daughter of Zion, which is Zion means to Zion one, which means monument, which means the Lord. Well, monument is what? To never forget, or you always remember. So our other nickname, given from the Most High, is a monument, or He's always going to remember us. So read that last part again.
It says, "Say ye to the daughter of Zion,
Yeah.
Behold, thy salvation cometh."
Yeah, thy salvation cometh. Because why? I remember you. I'm not going to forget you. So the salvation cometh. And like we're going over, the downfall of Esau, the so-called white man, that's the big sign. All right? So that's how you know our salvation is near. Because the so-called white man is in power. And he not only is in power, he's going down. It's probably says a Rona right now. Mm-hmm.
Right, it says, "Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him."
Yeah, and what is his reward? Getting that crown over our heads. Just like it says, is that Ezra's second chapter, or was it?
Yeah, that's,
no, 13.
Yeah, it's in the Apocrypha.
Apocrypha.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But when the Lord puts a crown upon our heads, who's that tall young man who puts the crown upon their heads? And the white robe that's Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
So what did it say that last part?
It says, "Behold, his reward is with him."
Yeah, that's that reward. Putting a crown upon our head and being saved out of this destruction. All right, which is the salvation or the rapture, so to speak, which means to reap or
Take up.
to take. So it really means to take. To take the elect out of this. Yeah. So that was basically the point, man. So the time is near. Prophecy is rolling. The so-called order is going down, and that's it. Lord willing, we continue next week with Elder Zion, and that's it. So shalom.